Don't you just love that music? I picked it, so yeah, I'm gonna say I love it. What am I gonna say? I don't love it, but no, I really like it. I think it's exciting. It gives some exciting. I love the beat. Yeah. It just it was a good pick. I think a good choice. I hope you like it too, because it's important that you like it. It's important that when you hear that music, you recognize that this is Side Hustle Rules. So, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is Wednesday. I actually was planning this live stream for yesterday, for Tuesday, but had some stuff come up that I wanted to finish, some projects that really needed to get done, and I moved it. But normally, what I want to do going forward is do a live stream on Tuesdays, a live stream here for Side Hustle Rules, just so I could number one, answer some questions if you got questions. Also, give you some information to help you to build your side hustle. And when I thought about this title that I'm going with, how to turn your side hustle into a full-time business, and the thumbnail on the video says scale your business. And yeah, I'm thinking this way. And I'm always thinking about growing a business. I mean, from day one, I thought when I got into business, I've got a dollar coming in. I want to have $10 come in. When I got $10 come in, I want 100. I've got 100. I want 1,000 and 10,000 and so on. But I always think about growing a business. Today, I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine. He's a fellow YouTuber, successful, does quite well financially. And I was talking to him, and the first thing I talk about is, have you been thinking about how you're going to grow your business? I'm on the phone with him, and he's actually out in his truck, and he's like, Lou, what do you mean grow my business? He goes, I've just got this solid business. I'm making money. I'm happy. I don't want to really grow it. I'm where I want to be. But in my mind, I'm always thinking about growing, and that's why I created this video for you, to give you some tips, to show you, to tell you ways that you can grow your business, that you can take that side hustle and make it a full-time gig, or maybe take that full-time business if you have one and really blow it out. And I find it interesting. I'm reading this book on Elon Musk, and there's a quote in there that he says he gives some advice to his cousins, and he said, who are in business, and he says you got to scale as fast as you can so that you can make an impact. You got to just grow that business. And that's just basically, man, you just summed up my whole philosophy. So yeah, we're going to talk about scaling the business. We're going to talk about, really, I'm going to give you 5 tips on steps that I'm going to recommend that you take. And then at the end of the 5 tips, I'm also going to give you a couple bonus tips, things that I've learned over time. And everything I'm going to be giving you is stuff that I've learned, I've done, just as a business person. And if you're not familiar with me, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to throw this panel up here. I almost forgot to do that. I don't want to forget to do it, because I kind of think it's important that I give you, or tell you anyway, my background here. If you don't know me, my name is Lou Reyes, as I guess you all know. I'm a startup consultant and a serial entrepreneur, and I've spent my entire career building things. I've got to build a chain of business-to-business magazines, a weekly newspaper, 2 national trade show companies, almost a dozen other businesses, had a weekly radio program, a show. Every week it was a business-to-business show. But I'm also the director of over50tv.com. It's a new website I launched. And I also run the Over 50 TV and the Side Hustle Rules YouTube channel. So that's my bio. I throw that up there. Not that I don't know. Of course, I know all the stuff I did, but I figured it just kind of helps me keep it concise, so that I just tell you flat out the facts, what you need to know, what'll help you, so you can get an idea about my experience. You always want to be working with somebody, learning from somebody who knows what they're doing, who's actually walked the walk and done it. Lord knows in my career, I've had a number of businesses, and I've walked the walk, and that is so important. So let's get to it. Let's talk about what I consider tip number 1 when it comes to growing your business, is scaling it. Throw the panel up here. It says business plan and strategy. And I'm going to read it to you rather quickly. This video is also going to be recorded, so you'll be able to go back and look at it when you want to. I start by developing a comprehensive business plan, something I've always done. 1-pager, 2-pager, 5-pager. I usually don't go more than 5 pages on anything I do. I just want to keep it where I need it. I like a 1-pager summary in the beginning. So I start by developing a business plan that outlines my side hustle's current state, my goals, my target market, my revenue projections, and a clear strategy for growth. And you can do each one of these in just a couple sentences. If you want, you can go into a lot more detail. But here's some of the key things. Your plan should include key milestones and metrics to track your progress. Having a well thought out plan will provide a roadmap for scaling your side hustle. The key is your plan should include key milestones and metrics. And when I did my first real successful business, the one that grew into millions of dollars in sales, my first one, what happened was I remember the first year I did $80,000 in sales, and I thought, that's okay. I'm not making really any money. It's all going into the business. And, yeah, we were making money, but we were plowing it right back. And I was plowing this money right back into the business. So 80 grand was my first year sales in my one magazine I had, my one business to business magazine, first year. But I told myself the metric I was looking at, the numbers I wanted to reach was 1 million. So in year 2, I said, okay, how long is it going to take me to hit that $1 million mark? What do I got to do to get to that $1 million mark? And I put together a plan, just a one page of this is what I need to do. I need to improve this. I need to hire this many people. I put numbers to everything. Everything had a number to it. I wanted to make sure I understood, how I was going to get where I was going to where I wanted to be. So I put together the metrics. This is what I know I need to do. And that is so important, is to have those metrics. And a lot of folks, I think you go into business and you're not thinking big, you're thinking small, you got a little side hustle here. You're making a couple hundred a month or 1,000 a month. Well, you know what? Why don't you think $10,000 a month? Why don't you think $50,000 a month? Tell yourself, how am I going to get there? How did I get where I'm at today? How am I going to get to where I'm at today? How am I going to get to where I want to be? And that's what you do. You look at it, you multiply it. I just look at when I look at what I'm doing, I say, okay, with this much people, this much resources, I made this much money. How much more resources do I need to make this money? This is my projection. So that's number one. Metrics, projections, you got to look at the numbers. It's so key. And that's what I did. That's how I hit that first million. I got my first million. I think it was the second year we generated $1 million in sales. And I can't remember what month it was, but it wasn't that late. It might have been May of the second year, I think. So we just had that momentum going into that second year. So let's go to number 2, to tip number 2. And tip number 2 is what I just would say is time management and commitment. Commitment being the buzzword here, the important thing. But transitioning to a full-time business often requires a significant increase in time and effort. Assess your current commitments and be prepared to allocate more time to your business. This might mean reducing other activities or transitioning from your day job gradually. Full commitment is essential for growth. Now, I'm going to tell you, I said transition gradually. My wife, my ex-wife now, would never would say, Lou's fooling you. He didn't transition gradually. He jumped in, and that was true. I had a business, started making some money, my little side business. All of a sudden now it's making money, and I'm seeing the opportunity. And I knew if I didn't quit my business and jump into it, I knew it wasn't going to grow. I knew it was going to be hard for a couple of years, and it was. But the end result was a business that was doing millions and millions and millions of dollars in sales. So yeah, I jumped into it. But let me go back to that panel here, because you know what? You have to look at and be prepared to allocate more time to your business. This might mean reducing other activities or transitioning from your day job gradually. But you're going to transition. You're going to find at some point, I know from experience, if you're successful, you see success, you're tasting it, you're going to jump into it. And it's just going to happen. But you've got to understand you're going to have to commit time and take time away from something else, because time is limited. You only have so much of it in every single day. We all know that. So let's go to number 3, financial management. Proper financial management is crucial when scaling a side hustle. Keep a close eye on your finances, including revenue, expenses, and profits. Consider securing additional funding if needed through savings, loans, or investors. Ensure you have a clear understanding of your financial runway to cover expenses as you scale. I'm going to tell you, my first year, from the first year, I watched my numbers. I mean, the first month I was looking at it because I had no choice. I mean, I don't have a choice when you're really trying to blow something out. You want to grow it. You got to watch your numbers. It's crucial. It's critical. And I can say this to you. I think it was in year 2, I know it was in year two. Actually, we hired a full-time CPA. I was able to do that. I was able to afford it. And it was the guy was paying the guy more than I was paying myself. But I knew that I needed somebody to watch the numbers, somebody who could make the projections and help us help to make create projections. So I knew where we were going to go. And the business got in at the right time, had some luck involved, but the business just started taking off. And we hired a full-time CPA. The guy came from a publishing background, worked for a major company. The company that he worked with, he ended up getting let go because he was laid off from the company with a bunch of other folks. We were able to scoop him right up, and he stayed with us for the whole time that I was there, the 5 years that I ran that company. So yeah, the financials are critical. You've got to watch your numbers. I can't speak to this much more than that, but that is important. So let me get down to panel number 3. Oh, I just got that. I just did that. Keep a close eye. I'm moving along fast here, I guess, huh? So now build that strong team. I just mentioned the accountant, the CPA that we hired. We hired him and actually didn't need him when he was hired, but knew going forward that without him, we weren't going to be able to stay on top of our numbers. And I ended up getting, our business got a line of credit, and we needed to get that line of credit. We had to have strong numbers, which we had, but we had to be able to present them to the bankers and show them that we had the strong team, the strong numbers. Surround yourself as your business grows. You may need to hire employees or work with freelancers or contractors. I work with freelancers and contractors right now, and they help me to manage the increased workload. And I'm going to be hiring more folks. It says here, surround yourself with talented individuals who complement your skills and share your vision. A strong team can accelerate growth and improve efficiency. No business is going to grow unless you get that good team. No business is going to grow unless you have a team of players, people who believe in your vision, see what you're doing, and will work along with you. Now, I mentioned Elon Musk, the book that I'm reading. The book I'm reading is a fascinating book. He's gone through so many people, it's ridiculous. But he's just had that singular vision, and he's just plowing it forward. But he built a strong team of some loyal people that he has got a circle, and that circle is what helps to keep him going on I'll just say, the straight path. So it's important to have that strong team. Let's go to the next one. Marketing and customer acquisition, another important tip. Number 5, invest in marketing and customer acquisition strategies to reach a broader audience, increase sales. This may involve expanding your online presence, optimizing your website for search engines, leveraging social media marketing, and exploring partnerships or collaborations. Consistently engage with your existing customers to build loyalty and referrals. Obviously, I think you can tell that I come from a publishing background, so I write everything out, I spell everything out. But the key here, I'm going to go back to it. The key here is that, what is that? That second line from the bottom, partnerships or collaborations. That is how I built every single business that I've had that found lots of success, was finding the right collaborators, the right partners, the right people that could, give me what I didn't have, provide what I didn't have. Even now on Side Hustle Rules on over50tv.com, my website, and then Over 50 TV on YouTube, having the right folks working with you to scale up that business. You can't build a business unless you have what I call a manufacturing line. And thank God, when I was a kid out of high school, I worked at a factory for a summer, and I saw how factory lines work, manufacturing lines worked. And since then, I've also paid attention in books I've read about manufacturing and the whole process. And I understand. I did the same thing with my newspapers, my magazines. Create that assembly line, create that manufacturing process. It's important, but it is having that partnerships and collaborations with people who will give you and allow you to leverage what you have. And if you don't have that marketing or I'd say if you don't have that partnership or collaborations, it's very hard to be successful. You don't have that strong team. You don't collaborate. If you just get 2 things out of this whole presentation, partnerships, collaborations, and a good team, that's all you need. That, I believe, is all you need, other than a vision. And we're going to be talking about that too. So we're going to go on to the next one. Diversify your income stream. This is my bonus tip, my friend. And this is something that I firmly believe I've always done. I continue to do it, is always looking at diversifying. Now, if you If you diversify, you're going to stabilize your income and reduce your reliance on a single source. Now, if you look at what I'm doing, if you look at what I've done, when I had my chain of business to business magazines, I created a trade show company, which exploded. It created huge trade shows, made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, you generated hundreds of thousands of dollars a month with these trade shows. Not and that add that to the business revenue coming in from advertising and sponsorships. All of a sudden, you're seeing what I'm talking about here. Then I did the radio show. Had a radio show to generate revenue. The radio show also helped me to market my business. Also provided me a platform to bring on owners of companies. And when they came on my show, they were happy and they gave me more money. They spent more advertising with me because I'm giving them a platform so they can get their name out and they can promote their company. So all these things together, all these different revenue streams, all these collaborations all work together. Fantastic formula. You can do it. I'm convinced that just about any business can do it. It's just a matter of being creative and looking at what you have and looking at your assets. So you can see I get excited about all this stuff, right? So let's get down here to the next one here. Tip number 7 is focus. Now I'm telling you about the things you got to do. And it almost seems like, well, Lou, if I'm doing this and you got me doing this over here and that over there, I mean, how can I be focused? Focus means remember that scaling a side hustle into a full-time business can be a gradual process and there will be challenges along the way. Stay focused on your goals. That's the key. Focused on your goals. That's what I'm talking about. My goal was to build a multi-million-dollar business, the biggest business out there in my niche. Now, I didn't hit that goal before I sold the business, but you know what? I was on the way. We were on the way to building that business. And I'm convinced to this day it could have happened. We could have been the biggest in the country. And I always think if I'm the biggest in the country, I'm going to be biggest in the world. That's just who I am. But the point being is stay focused on your goals. Third sentence down, adapt to changing circumstances and be prepared to pivot your strategy as needed to achieve your long-term success. A lot of folks go in and they're rigid. They don't adapt. They're just, I'm going to do what I'm doing. And you don't look around you how other things can impact you. The printing business, I mentioned, I was in the printing business, but you know what? I sold it before the big changes came, changes with the internet, you can all see how the internet's impacted newspapers. I got out before that was impacted. Maybe it was luck, maybe it was fortune and, good fortune. Maybe it was just circumstance, but it happened. And you know what? I got out at the right time. But I got out. And what I'm saying is you make that adjustment. You look at this and you be prepared to pivot your strategy as needed to achieve your long-term success. Now I'm building I'm going to say a media empire on digital with videos and with a website. You're going to see other projects come on up front. You're going to see a lot of things that I'm going to be introducing too, in addition to what I'm doing now. So it's a whole new game. I love what I'm doing. If you love what you're doing, you can be successful at it. I'm totally convinced of that. But you got to focus. You got to focus. You got to build that straight. You got to have that plan. You got to develop a strategy. You've got to go ahead and you've got to make sure your finances are in order, at least your numbers. You got to look at it. If you're losing money, you're going to lose some money. You're going to lose, but you can win. And you can win big. So, my friends, this is all I got for you for right now. I wanted to share this information with you. As I said, my thoughts are always about growing and building and expanding. That's who I am. If you're somebody who wants to work with me, if you decide, hey, I'd like to work with Lou and, maybe he can help me to build my business, expand my business, give me a call, send me a message. I'll be happy to talk with you. I'm a consultant, so there's obviously going to be a fee involved, but I'm willing to sit down and talk with you. And if I think I can help you, if I see the potential, and the potential in the business, but I'm also looking at the potential in you, because if you're somebody who isn't going to be committed 100% to the project, then you know what, I won't get involved. I might give you some advice in the beginning, but that'll be it. I won't hop on board. So anyways, that's all I got for you today. If you do have any questions, as I just said, send me a message, give me a call. That's all anybody can ask for. So that's all I got. As I always say to everybody out there, have a great day, everyone. Come on.